Welcome to our anti-allergy spring protocol. Do you suffer from seasonal allergies, rhinitis, blocked nose, itchy eyes, hay fever, all these kinds of things? We have created a protocol just for you. This is a simple 4-step protocol that you guys can do to help prevent the onset of all of those symptoms that come up at different times of the year. It should be a really gentle, nice protocol that isn't too much for anybody, but is easily accessible. We are going to show you 4 simple products. One that is going to help detoxification. The second one that is going to help to improve your sleep and therefore also regulate your nervous system. One that is going to help boost your immune system, and one that is going to help stabilize your mast cells. So let's get straight into it. The first stage of this is all about detoxification, right?
Yeah, detoxification is a big double whammy here, because when we talk about detoxification, we want to think about our body like it's a constant cup filling up. Isn't that the thing?
Yeah, exactly. So it's a bit like we want to think of that detoxification process that happens in the liver and the kidneys and also the skin and different other areas of the body as taking out the trash. And basically what happens through the year and through daily insult and injury that happens when we breathe in pollution and we put stuff on our skin and we eat food that has toxins in it is that waste paper basket fills up. And when it's near the top, the rest of the body is so busy dealing with taking out those toxins that everything is overreactive in the body. We start to react to things that aren't necessarily bacteria and viruses, but other things in our environment that we shouldn't actually have to react to. So if we start with the detoxification protocol where we look at clearing out the liver and the kidneys, it's going to take all that pressure, all that stress out of those areas. And we have a really, really lovely product to do this, right? It's Silas's Dandelion juice, and this is a fresh juice, so it's not a tincture, it's not a syrup, it's just a juice, and it contains both the leaves and also the flowers, which means that it's extra potent. And what's really beautiful is that it's a local herb, flower, plant to us that you can harvest yourself. Normally we see them around us, and those are always the best ones for us. The problem is that we can't really harvest them ourselves usually because they're at ground level, and dogs and foxes and cats and other animals might pee on top of them, which wouldn't be great for us. So Salis has come out with this amazing option for us that really helps, right?
Exactly. So essentially what this does is it reduces the pressure on the immune system. So increased immune pressure leads to decreased immune intelligence. Does that make sense? So immune intelligence being how well your immune system's identifying threats from non-threats, self from non-self. So threats being actual bacteria, actual viruses, things that are going to cause disease in the body. Non-threats being things like pollens, things like, gluten in your food. These things that actually aren't threats until your body identifies them or misidentifies them as such. Or self from non-self in the case of autoimmune diseases. And all of these things are about immune pressure. So increased immune pressure reduces immune intelligence. When we decrease immune pressure, doing detoxification protocols like this, we then increase the immune system's intelligence.
And how are people going to take this juice?
Yeah, so I guess from, like you said, it's not a tincture. So as long as you're fit and healthy, the way I would use it is take about 50 mils to 100 mils a day. Starting with 50 mils, start slowly. Make sure that the colon is moving. Make sure you're hydrating really well while you're doing it, because when you start to move toxins out of and improve the removal and release of toxins from tissues through these kind of like waste channeling systems, your kidneys and your liver, you then can put a backup pressure essentially onto this bottleneck, which is your colon. So make sure that the colon's moving really well, make sure you're hydrating really well, takes pressure off the kidneys. That's really how I would do it. And that's dandelion juice in a nutshell.
So we've got dandelion juice and detoxification as our first stage. What's our second stage?
So the second kind of concept, I suppose, to introduce to you guys is how your immune system and your nervous system are constantly tracking each other. They run alongside each other. That is to say that if your nervous system is challenged and stressed and you're in a heightened state of awareness, or like a hyper state of awareness, like hypervigilance, which happens with chronic nervous system stress and insults and all the things that we have in our day-to-day, which is the stuff that doesn't stop, essentially. The emails, the social media, the social call stuff, the work stuff, the family stuff, the blue light stuff. All these things are triggering our nervous system. And I don't mean that term triggering, I mean really triggering our nervous system. And as that happens, our immune system gets a heightened sense of threat in the environment as well. So it reduces the sense of safety in the environment. And when you increase the sense of threat in the nervous system, you increase the sense of threat in the immune system. And that means your immune system starts to go to work looking for jobs, looking for things in the environment that it needs to attack, invaders. And it goes, oh, maybe that's an invader. Again, the immune intelligence thing starts to decrease. So does that make sense?
Yeah, so you're sort of saying that because of these constant stresses that are in our lives in modern life now, we get overreactive, not just emotionally, which we know happens with stress, but also our immune system overreacts. And so what we need to do is try and calm everything down.
Exactly, bang on. And that is where beautiful herbs, anxiolytic herbs like valerian come in. So valerian is a magic herb, right? For not traditionally what we think of as an anti-allergy herb, but as I've kind of begun to evolve my thinking around where allergies come from, like real root cause medicine stuff, and I'm not a medic, but my research has led me towards more and more that the reason why there is so much of an increase in allergies and rhinitis and both digestive and airborne allergies is because people are in this chronic state of stress. You have this thing called your HPA axis where all your hormones are in this conversation all the time all together. And when one of them triggers a warning, the warning lights go off all over the body, and then the immune system starts to go, whoop. Oldest medicine in the world is sleep. That's where the Roman Latin physicians send you off up to the mountains. They say, like, take the 18 days rest and pure air. And you're like, yeah, cool, that's smart. So this is what this guy's doing, right? So it's encouraging you to get deep rest. So you have 5 phases of sleep. Your 4th phase is where your body does a lot of immune system reset and anti-inflammatory processes start to work. And that's where your body starts to like really control and improve its immune intelligence, its response to threats, becoming like smarter in targeting the things it needs to target and not targeting and not wasting energy essentially on the things it doesn't need to target. Also, the REM sleep, that's where your body does emotional processing. Emotional processing leads to a nervous system regulation as well. So making you less reactive from a nervous system point of view the next day. So valerian's a beautiful herb for this. It's like an anxiolytic, soporific herb. That is to say, it works to calm the nervous system and actually get you to sleep. It's a beaut.
And so this is called Peace and Calm, and it's by Irish Botanica, so it's got the lovely, beautiful Irish mountains on it as well.
Yeah.
Do people take it every day? Is it something they use phasically? Is it okay for all ages? Like, can kids who have histamine issues take it as well?
So it's a yes. I mean, kids of all ages probably you wouldn't bother with the valerian tincture. It's high potency. It's actually the strongest, one of the few what we call forte herbs in the available on our shelves, available in retail stores. A forte herb versus a mete herb is a herb that has a big effect on our system. And so valerian, anything more than a valerian tea, I wouldn't be giving to kids under 12, even under 16 realistically. But there's lots of other herbs you can use. I'm talking about adults here where maybe you've had this, these sorts of things that are going on for years without reset. Like that nervous system stuff. You're like, people we talk to all the time, they have this situation where they say, I don't feel stressed. And you say, well, are you sleeping? And they say, no, of course I'm not sleeping. Nobody sleeps. And you're saying, well, that means you are stressed or your body is stressed. Biologically, your body is sensing threat and stress. When you're not stressed, you get beautiful sleeps. So that's why valerian's a beaut. So what we'd use this it works quite quickly. So we use it in like a short course form. 14 days, maybe up to 21 days, just in this seasonal change moment. So in this kind of April to May kind of changeover, and it's a really high potency version of valerian as well. The tincture I think is a 2-to-1. Yeah, so that means for every 2 parts alcohol, there's 1 part herb, which is a lot. A lot of them are 10-to-1, so 10 parts alcohol to 1 part herb. So this is a really strong tincture. So you take maybe half a teaspoon. If you're somebody who's reactive to these sorts of things, like if you're tuned in and reactive to, say, caffeine and other stimulants, if they kind of disrupt your system. If you're not that person, you have 6 coffees a day, then maybe it's like a full teaspoon, maybe twice a day, taken in the evening time, before your dinner, before bed, 45 minutes before bed, something like that. Does that make sense?
So we've got dandelion juice for detoxification. Then we've got valerian for peace and calm and good quality sleep so that we can repair and calm the nervous system down. The next thing that we know that we need to do is improve immune system response, right? So it's not overreactive, it's not underreactive, it's responding appropriately.
Exactly.
And you've got a really good idea for how people can do that in a way that's really natural.
Yeah, beautiful. And like the dandelion, like the valerian, it's another native herb and it's elderberry. So this actually, Sambucol is not produced in Ireland, but it's a herb. I mean, if you can get any good quality elderberry syrup, this is just one good example that we happen to sell. Elderberry is magic. So it has some ability to fight viruses, i.e. it tags viral cells in your body and highlights them like a beacon and allows your immune system to better target it and get rid of viral cells. So it's taking pressure off the immune system from that point of view. It also, the OPCs, the oligomeric proanthocyanidins, which are the type of antioxidant that we find in all those purple, blue kind of fruits and veggies and red wine and blueberries and aronia berries, those have an immune regulatory effect, which is a great thing, because what you want to do is take pressure off the immune system, to bring the immune system back down to this point where it's actually like appropriately responding to attack. So that's where hay fever and these sorts of things, that's where those things have gone out of whack, right? So that's really why the elderberry is in there. Antiviral, antibacterial as well, but particularly because it's immune regulating with those OPCs. So I love that.
So it's a lovely tonic for the whole system as well.
Yeah.
So how much are people taking? A teaspoon a day?
Teaspoon 3 times a day. Again, this is a short course kind of thing. This is like a change of seasons thing. So the detoxification, really the dandelion needs to happen nice and early in the season. If you can, the earlier the better. Let's think about it in February next year, guys. Mm-hmm. The valerian is a short course. You can do that any time of year. But again, we're doing this like the whole thing really shouldn't be much more than 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. You might stay with some of those things longer term. Elderberry particularly, I would say maybe longer term might be a nice thing. It doesn't really have any like blunting effects when you take it over longer periods of time. It doesn't plateau. It keeps the body, in a nice sort of state of immune kind of awareness, but not stress.
Okay, so we've had our dandelion for detoxification. We've had our valerian for good quality sleep and nervous system regulation. We've boosted the immune system so it responds appropriately with our beautiful elderberry syrup. And then the last thing that we're going to do is use honey, but in a really, really smart way for one specific purpose, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so the really interesting thing about particularly Manuka honey, so this is a study I think that just came out last year, so it's a big deal because we've always known that honey has antimicrobial effects. So as the honey coats our throat, it's able to kill bacteria, it's able to fight the invaders itself, so that takes pressure off the immune system. That's great. But what we didn't know until very recently was that Manuka honey specifically is able to control and regulate mast cell response. Mast cells are the type of immune system cell that contain histamine. So when mast cells wobble and burst, they release this payload of histamine, and that's where all of the rashy, heaty, itchy, the symptoms come from that hay fever sufferers are absolutely plagued by at this time of year, that sees them relying on antihistamines. And we want to get you off medication for good. That is your own choice. We're not medics, but if you want to do it, and there's some great reasons if you look them up, reducing the histamine use, antihistamine use would be a smart thing, and honey, Manuka honey, really helps you to do that.
What's so nice about this protocol, one of the things I love about it is that it's so gentle and it's all food source. So it's not like getting loads of capsules of things that you're not really sure, or it's just going back to the basics of going like, what are the things there in our local environment that can actually help us at this time of the year? Usually they're actually coming out at this time of year as well, and there's no surprises around that. It's like learning to live with the nature that's around us so that we can live in the nature better. Right?
She's smart, eh? She's got it. Somebody's got it.
I did my listening.
She's nailed it. Yeah, so that's exactly it. So if you guys can get onto this sort of protocol, really aim to start at February or March if you can every year. This is April, May. It's still going to really fund you and help to reduce the amount of antihistamine use for the summertime, for anyone who's got allergies. It's all, for hay fever particularly. But if you have any other, like rhinitis, even if you have digestive allergies, all of these things are indicators of the same fundamental issues. That detoxification thing is relevant. Calming the nervous system is relevant. Supporting and regulating the immune system is relevant, and regulating histamine response. So this is really a protocol for any allergy sufferer that I've ever come across anyway.
If you are interested in doing the protocol, check out the notes below. We'll have links to all of the products. And also, we have another protocol that we already put up that's had great success for people, right? What was that protocol?
That was our detoxification protocol, funnily enough. So we didn't actually focus on dandelion, but early in the season, we put together a protocol that looked at the stages and phases of sensible detoxification. That's all really good evidence-based stuff. So helping to claw the crap out of our cells, the sort of stuff that does accumulate even just from drinking water, unfortunately, because a lot of toxins, a lot of heavy metals, these sorts of things come into our body from our water. We think we're doing good things and we're not.
It's just a spring clean.
It's a spring clean. Yeah.
Your granny and your mum said, do a spring clean. Clean it out start afresh.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do in our houses. It's
Exactly.
what we need to do inside our bodies, because the body is the house that we live in, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Cool.
check out that one as well, and keep posted for some more protocols coming soon.